In this lesson, we're going to write and solve proportions. Example 1, how do I write a ratio? Well, first of all, a ratio is a comparison of two values. So for example, you might have remembered from last year that you could write a ratio as a fraction. You could write it as 3 to 4 and then spelled out as 3 to 4. So all of those have the same meaning. So we're going to write the ratio. A volleyball team plays 14 home matches and 10 away matches. And says find the ratio of home matches to away matches. So if we write this as a fraction, the order matters. So if they say the ratio of 14 home matches and then the 10 away matches, our home matches have to go on the top, or they have to be listed first, and then our away ones will go on the bottom. And so I could write that as 14 all over 10. I could simplify this by dividing both by 2. I could write that in the other two forms as well. Find the ratio of home matches to all matches. So if we're writing the ratio of the home matches to all the matches, well, remember we have 14 home matches. But then if we're going to talk about all the matches, we have 14 home and 10 away. So we have to add these together to list the total number. So we would have 14 all over 24, and I could leave it like that, or I could simplify that to 7 all over 12. So example number 2, how do I solve a proportion? Well, first of all, a proportion is two equivalent ratios. And equivalent, it means equal. So they're two equal. All right, so when we have two equivalent ratios, we're saying that they're equal. So if I wanted to know 3/4 is equal to what all over 12? Well, to go from 4 to 12, I would have multiplied by 3. And whatever I would have done to one, I would have to do to the other. So if I had multiplied the bottom by 3, I would have to multiply the top by 3. And so then that means that x would be equal to, then 3 times 3 is equal to 9, because 3 all over 4 then is equal to 9 all over 12, because I multiplied the top by 3 and I have multiplied the bottom by 3. All right, so another way of solving proportions is by applying the cross products property. And what the cross products property says is that if A all over B is equal to C all over D, where B and D, the bottom numbers, cannot be equal to 0, then A times D will be equal to B times C. So let's just show on this proportion. We just said that 3/4 is equal to 9/12. If I were to multiply, cross multiply 3 times 12, I get 36. And if I multiply 9 times 4, I also get 36. And notice how they're equivalent. So if I were to then apply that to solving for this variable, we could apply the cross products property. And what we're doing, and you might have remembered, I think 7th grade teachers probably called that the fish problem. So I'm going to multiply 4 times x, and I get 4x. And then I multiply 3 times 12, and I get 36. And so then if I continue to solve my equation, notice how x is equal to 9. And I got x is equal to 9 over here, and I got x is equal to 9 over here. So kind of depending on your problem, might depend on which method you'd use to solve. All right, so number 1, we're going to solve the proportion. So there are two ways I think we could do this first one, because I can see that, how did I go from 6 to 30? Well, I can see that I multiplied by 5, and whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. And so I take 11 times 5, that means that x is equal to 55. Now another way that you could have solved this is by cross multiplying. I could take 6x and I take 30 times 11. So that's going to be equal to 330, and then I would divide by 6, And when I divide by 6, I get x is equal to 55. So notice I get the same answer. So question number 2. Let's go ahead. If we're able to just see what happens, I think that's the easiest way to solve them, but we're not always going to be able to do that. So how do I go from 2 to 12? I'm multiplying by 6. And then if I do that on the bottom, I have to do that on the top. And so 9 times 6 is 54, so m is equal to then 54. Now for question number 3, I like to rewrite those as fractions. So I have 1 to 5 can be written as a fraction of 1 all over 5 is equal to 4 all over something. And so how did I go from 1 to 4 to make it equivalent? I would have multiplied by 4. So if I did that on the top, I'd have to do that on the bottom. And then 5 times 4, x would be equal to then 20. And again, you could apply the cross products property, but I think for these it's just easier. If you can see what you need to do, I think that's the easy way of solving those. All right, so for question number 4, notice it's not easy. I can't easily go from 20 to 8. So this one we're going to want to apply the cross products property. And so I'm going to multiply 20 times x, and I get 20x. And then I multiply 8 times 35, and you get 280. And then the 20 is multiplying the x. I'm going to divide by 20 on both sides. And you have then x is going to be equal to 14. Question number 5, again, I can't go easily from 30 to 9, so I'm going to want to apply the cross products property. So I'm going to multiply 9 times x, and I get 9x. And then I'm going to multiply 6 times 30, and I get 180. And the 9 is multiplying, so I'm going to divide by 9. And x is going to be equal to then 20. And we'll do one more. So again, 24 to 36, I can't do that easily. So again, I'm going to cross multiply. I'll get 36x. And then I'm going to multiply 24 times 27. And we get 648. And so then we're going to divide by 36, so to isolate the variable. And we'll get x is equal to then 18. All right, example number 3, how do I solve real world proportions? So number 1, it says a restaurant owner uses 3 cloves of garlic for every 5 pints of sauce. The restaurant uses 210 pints of sauce during the day. Find the number of cloves of garlic the restaurant uses to make the sauce. All right, so first of all, we're going to set this one up as a proportion because we have the 3 cloves of garlic. So it's really important that we label our parts here because it really helps with lining them up in the end. So if you use 3 cloves of garlic for every 5 pints of sauce, it wants to know if the restaurant uses 210 pints of sauce, how many cloves you're going to then use. And notice then, our pints have to be lined up with our pints. And so if they're labeled, it really does help. So we're looking then for x. So let's go ahead and let's just solve this by cross multiplying and dividing. So we have 5x is equal to, and that's going to be 630, and then we'll divide by 5. And so then if we had 210 pints, we would end up using 126 cloves of garlic. All right, number 2, a blueprint of an office building has a scale of 2 inches for every 15 feet. The completed scale model of the building is about 14.5 inches tall. Estimate the actual height of the building. Now, one of the things about scale drawings, it's always the scale to the actual, or the drawing to the actual. So let's go ahead and take a look. We have 2 inches for every 15 feet. So on our drawing, we've got the 2 inches, but in actual distance, it's 15 feet. And now if I had a scale model, of the building and it's 14.5 inches tall, so that's the scale. We need to know then how tall the actual building is. So again, we're going to solve this by cross multiplying and dividing. So I've got 2x is equal to, then I'll take 15 times 14.5, and you'll get 217.5, and then we need to isolate the variable, and then x is going to be equal to 108.75, and then let's go ahead and we're going to label it. It would be 108.75 feet tall, because remember the actual is in feet. And for our last one, it says that the map has a scale of 1 centimeter for every 15 kilometers. So again, it's the scale drawing all to the actual distance. Find the actual distance of the map that is 6 centimeters apart. So if I have a scale drawing of 1 centimeter for every 15 kilometers, I would want to know then if my drawing is 6 centimeters apart, how much then it's going to actually be on the map. So again, we're going to cross multiply and then divide. So 1 centimeter times x, so I've just got 1, x is equal to, and then we'll take 15 times 6, and we get 90. So our x is equal to 90, meaning that it is going to be 90 kilometers apart. So in this lesson, we took a look at how to solve proportions and how to solve real life proportions.